Number one here at PCS3 Asia. This is going to kick off the last PCS for the year across the globe. Asia, NA, and then on the weekends, APAC and EU. And we begin our journey on Miramar. Plane path is up. Looks pretty favorable, just a 45-degree angle across the middle, so nothing super crazy. There are a few sort of contested drop spots on Miramar during the scrims, G-Clef. A little bit around Minas Generales and a little bit around Chumacera. So those are kind of the two areas I have my eyes on more so than any others.
Yes, and there was some skirmishes around Pecado challenging Genji during the scrims, but I don't think that's going to be a big contest for any other teams, because that's basically where Genji goes all the time. You don't really contest against them because they've been on that spot for such a long time, and experience comes in very handy when you go into that early 4v4.
I'm a little sad we don't have TSG here because they are such a good Miramar team. They're such a pleasure to watch on this map, but Entis, I think, is probably the best Miramar team in this lobby right now. Now, Sun Sisters are great in their region on Miramar. It doesn't really translate into the global tournaments very well, and there is maybe a little bit of a vehicle contest between GEX and MCG potentially, but it looks like MCG is going to back off. They realize they're kind of outnumbered here a bit.
Yeah, man, then you don't want to go into those kind of challenges this early. Ooh, and the first circle pops. Half water, half land, paper thin. What have you got?
Well, G-Clef, I don't know if you know this, but I drink a lot of coffee.
I do.
And that tends to create chaos in PUBG. And no doubt I had a very large coffee before this one started. And it is a potential island circle here. And if it gets to the islands, there's actually a little bit of an interesting kind of Korean historical, cultural thing that I'd like to talk about. But we'll see if it goes there, and if we'll get to that. But that first circle, what better way to kick things off here for PCS3 than that?
Oh, yes, and a great circle. 4 infantry is basically on the screen. Long skirt, exactly the reason why he's going to be firing. He's going to be explosive again, taking a lot of those members down. This guy should still be the MVP for all around. We say a lot about Pio, but Long skirt you can't count him down. He's a force to be reckoned with from China. So good. Another great circle for Entis, also right on top of Impala. They don't have that much better of a looting, but at the beginning they spread out 1-1-1-1, oftentimes grabbing a lot of land in the circle.
Yeah, so if you watched PCS2, you've seen some of this Entis splitting. This is kind of what they've been doing on these more Eastern-heavy circles. Now, there's an interview here. I want you to give me some insight here.
치킨을 먹을 생각이고, 오늘 안 줘도 꾸역꾸역 치고 들어가서 다른 팀들 뒤통수를 잡고 키를 먹으면서 점수를 올릴 생각이에요. 우리를 치고 오더라도 항상 우리가 이득을 볼 거기 때문에 각오 단단히 하고
bump into someone else, they will try to take the space away and just grab those chicken dinners if it's possible. And before, I think he said that they will be containing a lot of land on their own and keep those spaces safe for themselves.
Oh,
what is Daengche trying to do
Daengche is doing some sneaky stuff. I see this a lot in both Korea and China, where they'll send out one player to do some sneaky stuff. They get a read on a drop, and then they try to pick off this single lone player who's on his own. In this case, it's Zhao Yang, the play caller for infantry, who's out here on his own. The rest of Afrika's a bit far off. Let's see if this one's going to kick off anytime soon. Daengche does have that AK, and up close and personal, everybody knows it. The AK shreds. If you can land, especially that first headshot, you basically are going to get a kill for free. And Zhao Yang, I don't think, is any the wiser.
Idea.
He misses it. He misses it. Zhao Yang only half damage here, so he's running down the hill, and he's trying to get out of dodge. But look at this, what's in front of him, G-Clef, nothing. He has nowhere to run. It's going to require the rest of infantry to get here to help him. I don't know. Typically, the Chinese teams will fight if they feel it's worth it. In this case, I'm not sure.
This case, I don't think so, because a lot of their teammates are actually way too far away. Might as well just run and look for your chances. That's exactly why he's going downhill, not too much angle against the Afrika Freaks who tried to get that easy kill. Daengche, what a sneaky man right there.
He almost got it. Half damage, but it looks like Zhao Yang does find enough of the downcline in the hill to cover himself for now. Afrika not super aggressive, and I'm not going to say I blame them. They know full well who's dropping in that compound. They know it's infantry. They don't want to mess with them if they don't have to. All 4 of the players on infantry in up-close and personal fighting, some of the best in the business.
Yeah, from the flash that we have just seen there, the stun grenade, I don't think Afrika exactly knew if he actually got out from those compounds, so he will be safe for now. You're going towards that Impala side. The rest of the squad should be waiting for him right there. But he's going to lose a lot of the looting time.
Yeah, Zhao Ying gets out of there very nicely. Good idea to just piece on out right away, not waste too much time there. And even though it is a bit of a dangerous cross, cutting across that field, he's able to make it work in time and regroup with the rest of his team in Impala. So 4 a.m., the top team from the PCL has found their way into the northern part of the circle. They drop around Hacienda. And that is uncontested for them on this particular map.
Yeah, that's exactly where 4 a.m. actually stayed oftentimes during PCL. And they got a lot of, because they're so high up, they got a lot of those skill or even stealing kills to grab those sweet points because it forces a big rotation around Al-Azhar all the way towards the east, then you have to bump into some other team. And knowing that rotation has to be done, yeah, 4 a.m. cuts right in the middle early on.
Oh, the battle now between Entis and Infantry. Indigo finds Longsker, gets some shots into him. But now Longsker is able to get back. Indigo is going to pop the tire just for good measure to make sure that vehicle isn't available for Infantry. But wisely, I think once again, Infantry is going to be back off. So this is Infantry trying to reach out a little bit with solo members. And for now, it's being kind of sought after by the Korean teams, doing a good job watching, I think, what the Chinese teams have been doing and reacting. You got to give the coaching staff a lot of credit here.
Oh, yes.
Because they're finding these isolated players, and even though they're not getting kills, they're bopping them out of the positions. Code. Get the code.
Code
it's
time.
There.
It's gone. You've seen it. Take a screenshot.
Hopefully you got it. Put it in spam in chat. We know.
I'm pretty sure it's up there. Guys, you will know. You get some time to put that up there, so no pressure. And Entis, they've been doing a lot of 2-2 split, but knowing how aggressive they actually have to be against Infantry, they had the 3-man push. This is exactly what they planned going into game 1, saying, okay, Infantry will be a big contest towards the end of the tournament. We got to bring them down now, and that's actually a really smart idea, pushing them down, Impala.
Yeah, and they're hedging their bets that if this circle shifts south, it's probably going to stay on the mainland. And if there is an island circle, then everything all your plans and ideas get thrown out the window. They're going to leave Songjong out on his own. I wouldn't really call this an anchor. This is more just like him trying to keep this territory available if it shifts north.
Exactly, just in case of the next circle popping all the way north, because the rest of the squad is totally in Impala. They can probably get out if they have some vehicle control, which I don't think they have too much now because there was infantry and also a few other teams rotating into Impala's side now. Right across from the road, there's the factory line.
All right, this team, Petrichor Road, Pero, is what we're going to call them for short, is now, man, infantry can just not catch a break. Everybody has their sights set on these guys on the circle, and it makes sense. This is a circle that's right on top of their drop spot. It's right in their home. It's an area of the map that they know very well, and you want to kind of try to set them off balance, put them a little bit on guard so they can't make the easy rotations that maybe they've seen them do. And it's nice to see not just the Korean teams doing it, now also Petrichor Road knows full well that infantry is going to be up there as one of the teams to worry about. And speaking of, now Gokuri from Detonation Gaming White. Gokuri, by the way, played really, really well in the OSM back a couple weeks ago here in Korea. So that's a guy who's been heating up. And if that whole Detonation Game White team can get firing along with Machao, watch out. These guys have real potential.
That's one knock on Longsker. Let's see, a lot of the teams has been putting eyes on him as we are about to have the second circle pop. Woo! Woo! That's still half water.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Now, I want to throw this out there. It's not likely that it's going to go to the islands with how this circle shifted. It's pretty unlikely, but in theory, that smaller island, it can end there. It's extremely, extremely, extremely unlikely, especially with the esports settings.
Yes.
It is possible. It's happened once before with the esports settings, so it can happen in theory, but I've only ever seen it happen once in my entire 2.5 years of casting PUBG, and it wasn't even an event I was doing. I was just watching a random, I think it was an APAC event or something.
Ooh, Entis actually going into challenge against Afrika, getting a lot of knocks, and they will be picking up kills. Entis, the rest of the squad does come. Hanxia is left alone in that top.
Whoa, Pero's rotating around the outside of this. Under's going to go down to Hansia.
Ooh,
is that going to be a flush? No. Kale comes to save the day, and Entis just bops Afrika right on out of here. A good start for Entis. This is the more aggressive Entis that we've been seeing in Korea, in PCS3 Korea. They were much more aggressive than we're used to seeing. The patient OGN that tries to wait till late game is no more. Now they go for kills much earlier when they sense weakness.
Yeah, that was actually a 2v3 or 2v4. Entis had less members to contest against, but Afrika actually bumping into them did lose that fight. I think they wanted to challenge Entis, knowing that they have a pretty good spot. Did not really work out for Afrika this time. Oh, look at those sprays!
Indigo, absolutely beastly. He is stepping up so big. Under's been so clutch for them in late game situations. Indigo is just this all-around fantastic fragger. He's going to get it done for you early and late. The guy has been really getting better and better as the year has gone on.
And they still have the entire squad with that many kill points. What a start for OG and Entis. Because we had seen some kills. They're actually moving away out into the circle, all the way.
Poor K7 probably thought there's no way anybody's going to be up on the coast watching this rotation that we're going to try on the boat. And here's Griffin, who doesn't mind hanging out in the blue for a couple phases.
Exactly.
This is something you got to worry about with Griffin. They'll come in late because they tend to drop on the edges. They'll either drop Valle del Mar or Alcantara. And so for them, they don't mind this. This is right in their wheelhouse. This is at their home, and they're making K7 pay a bit. Now, K7 is pretty split up. This is going to be really challenging for them to just get into these circles safely, not only because they're really far out and Griffin is here, but also because half the circle is water and there's just not a lot of space to get in.
Yeah, you mentioned the good part about Griffin. They don't actually pick fights. They run away from fights. Working outside of circle, late rotations, trying to go in after seconds at the edge of second circle or into the third circle. But because they ran into K7, they basically had to shoot there. Usually you would be seeing a lot more Griffin avoiding fights compared to this.
I really like Griffin's new style with Juanita. A lot of you guys are going to recognize that name from the old VLG teams.
Oh, yes.
Now he is the play caller for Griffin, and Asura has kind of stepped into more of a support role with Tuhart and Minsung being your top fraggers. Tuhart is your frontliner. He's just absolutely crazy all the way around, and we're heading towards Puerto. This is going to be fun. The hills around Puerto are really interesting. They're pretty steep, but there is quite a bit of terrain to work with, and actually this part of the map I like because it also has some of the grass and other soft cover that obscures vision just a little bit.
Yeah, even across from the road, you do have that steep line where you can actually keep the entire squad. Even with some vehicles, there might be a few squads lining towards the beach side. That's exactly the good circle that K7 has been waiting for, and they will be good to go land in that beach side as we don't really see anyone from Puerto Paraíso right now. But all the other teams coming from that eastern road right now, they will be putting up a lot of fight.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, and you don't want to get forced into Puerto Paraíso in this situation because leaving that city is next to impossible. Like we mentioned, the hill is so steep on the side. Where OPGG is, they're giving you a great shot of this. I love our observers. They're so good. They always know what I'm talking about, even though they don't listen to us. They have so much control as OPGG on top of this hill of all of Puerto, you basically can't get out. All right, over to Juanita. Now they've rolled up on the backside of 4 a.m. And again, the blue is their home. They do not mind this. Good grenade here. Looks like it's right next to Crazy. Gonna get the knock from Juanita. Now Godby taking some serious damage. He's getting knocked as well. All right, it's starting to fall apart, but Asura gets knocked from forever. So far, not clean. Minsung is down. It's a 2-on-2, 2-on-1. Make that a 2-on-1 Just Loot left. Spraying some shots. Good.
Oh, Shalu getting that shot in, but 3 members down. How many can you actually get that res? Can you actually get the final kill? It is going to be up to 1-1 now. Tuhart versus Shalu. They're quite away, so maybe 4 a.m. will be looking to get few of their members up. And I think Griffin's just running away from this fight right now as they're still in blue.
Yeah, this is Phase 3 blue, so you can res and heal fast enough, but once it transitions to Phase 4, there's not enough time to heal.
You just have to go.
You're just dead. So Tuhart's going to take that vehicle and run over to VLG. There is Spirit down. Deva is very hurt. Lambu, the play caller for VLG, on the backside, trying to hold things down as New Happy is bearing down on them. They've got Ming DD already encroaching, but we have lost a member of New Happy here already, so not the end of the world. Entis looks to be trying to potentially third-party this fight.
This is exactly where the contest is going to be, right at the edge of that road, at the corner, before you go down to Puerto Paraíso. Here, you have Ming Ming. This is the player that Paperton you have been mentioning so many times. There's Lambu that does peek out, but it's not really as. He's the last one out. He has to look for the perfect shot.
He hasn't seen
Really
him.
patient.
Ming
That's a shot.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of damage there. Isn't able to hold it down.
We still got to go into the circle or else he's going to drop.
Yeah, it's really, really tough now for Ming Ming, as now Lambu's just going to back off. They know by the kill feed that New Happy is basically down and out except for their last member. Speaking of down and out, Griffin is going to be the first team to fall here at PCS3 Asia. Just too many teams in the way because of these crazy circle shifts for them to get through, and 4AM held very, very fast, very strong. 4AM, in fact, getting 2 of their members back up. Godby and Forever still kicking, as this one centers up to the outside of Puerto. So, unfortunately for K7, it's been a rough one. They've had to get on boats to get to where they are, but coming out of Puerto, if OPGG decides to not let them, they're pretty much not going to get out.
Oh yes, it's going to be tough. OG and Entis, they got some kills. They got a lot of kills, in fact, but still, because of the circle changes, cannot really contest, go all the way towards the south. There are a lot of teams botting them out of the circle, and I don't think Indigo's looking for any more points. Maybe some more when 4AM's coming in, but it's going to be hard to keep himself alive with not that many heals that I saw on screen.
Yeah, the lifespan is not very long here for Indigo. Oh, what a shot on the Forever, though. Quickly done. Of course, the circle helping, doing the early damage for that. Now Godby and Xiaolu, they're just watching this. Their teammate is down and out. It is phase 4, so there is no getting back to him. Only one more first aid kit after this one for Indigo. Now the 4 Angry Men decide there is no hope for their teammate, and they can't seem to really get a bead on Indigo. But how many first aid kits does Forever have? He was even kind enough to drop a few outside there. Not kind enough. You're actually slowing the looting down, and now infantry's 9. And that's it. The blue was too much for 4AM. Too many battles, too much damage. And there is another point in the back for infantry, who still has 4 up despite a couple early skirmishes.
Yep, they managed to actually get out from that many fights, and still keeping the entire squad together. Yeah, towards that northern west side of the new circle there, as I think infantry's got a great line of sight down to all areas from that top line.
Yeah, they're going to work from the top down. PO gets a knock onto Kendes. Ken is, I think, resable potentially, but it depends on what Sun Sister's going to do. You've got GEX over here as well, so a couple teams.
Genji's going to push a lot further into Sun Sister line right there, as they're also contesting from against the other team. Sun Sister's having a tough time really keeping their line together against Genji.
All right, PO gets overextended just a bit, doesn't get knocked for it though, and he is doing PO things. This is much more Genji's style. They've gone back to this 1-3 with PO out front, but now Crazy Sam is going to reach out. Crazy Sam, one of the best players in Japan, but it's going to be Aqua5 with the support. This guy, like you mentioned early on, he doesn't show up in the kill feed, but his damage numbers are often good, and he does a lot of other things for Genji.
And it's a hard place to get that smoke down, so don't mind that too much. And Aqua5 will always come as a backup. If you have a member down, he's always next to that person, so no worries for Genji. As they will be quite safe. Sun Sister will be challenging them just a little further, but I think PO's safe for now.
Yeah, I think this should be okay for Genji to get this. I don't expect the Sun Sisters to push onto this. There's only Faye and Polly left. That's just not enough. Now XDD from Pero takes a lot of damage. The last member alive here. Some of those players you're going to recognize for Pero. They go down to VLG's Lambu. 11th place for them. But that Pero team, there's a lot of really good players. Some former L-Stars players, some guys that are extremely talented.
As Indigo somehow, some way actually came into the circle with that many items picked up from the dead body. And picking up another kill. It's really nice for Entis right now, but gets eliminated right there from
What
VLG.
a run. What a run for him to start this. 5 kills for Indigo to come out. I like the aggression, even though it's only 6 points for Entis. That's good. That's a pretty good start considering the way these circles went. They constantly were shifting away from them. They had to fight through a lot of different teams. They just dominated Afrika in their battle with them. So not a bad start at all for Entis. MCG gonna find AO. He is down. So K7 actually loops around the backside of Puerto. They're able to get out because OPGG is kind of distracted a little bit with what's going on around them. That's a nice movement here from K7.
And OPGG is actually panicking in those compounds. They shouldn't be, and they actually lost the Ember against MCG, who's actually far away. OPGG shouldn't be losing members like that. They can't be careless. They should know exactly where the shots are coming down. It has to be from the top hill side, either from FD or MCG. But the losing a member like that is going to be... It's not really showing too promising signs so far the first game for OPGG.
Yeah, I think for this OPGG squad, the team has a lot of history in PUBG Esports, but these are a lot of new players who haven't been on the big stages before, except for Alpaca, of course, on the old OGN Entis Ace team that went to PGC last year. But now there are a lot of other members, a lot of really good players. AO is incredibly skilled. Dumbo is nuts too. So this whole team is very good. And like we mentioned earlier, typically they're good at defending crashes and making crashes, but some of their decision-making in between is, like we just saw here, a little suspect.
SK7 now going to get that pretty good spot near the waters. As right into the circle, Genji is trying to contest from them, but they have to be careful as they know there's a member of Sun Sister left somewhere around here, but they don't exactly know where Polly is.
Yeah, they're trying to scan and suss him out, and this time it's going to be Aqua that's left on the anchor. Poor Aqua 5 might have some members of infantry kind of bearing towards him. We'll see how that plays out. Spear is alive, but the only one for VLG. Now, that being said, 8 kills early here for VLG, but Machao has spotted him out right on the money with the grenade. Now, Pio is knocked again. That's the second one. They do get the finish onto Polly, so Pio will be able to be saved just in the nick of time.
Oh, yes. Genji still having 4 members. This is exactly why infantry is pushing now. Aqua 5 does smell something's up from the top. Infantry on a run. Aqua 5, he should be running.
Yeah, he's piecing out as much as he can.
He can't right now. He just have to go for the fight.
Yeah, the hill's too steep. It's going to open up angles on top of him, and infantry's not going to even get knocked by him. They're too smart. They're too good. They know the angles of the terrain and where players are likely to be. Now, oh, they're going down. It's going to be actually OPGG and K7 that are getting into this. Infantry alerted the rest of the teams to their presence. The Blues right on their back as well. Infantry is on the ropes. Bringing the hammer down are a couple different teams. Circle's going to make it even worse. It's shifting away from them.
Yeah, worse angles for infantry. I think there was concentrated on Genji a little too much. Opened up angles from that lower side of OPGG up to K7. Genji, they're happy. Okay, if they're helping out. We got some teammates here helping us out so we can actually make a rotation. They might actually force themselves down all the way to Paraiso if they got some smokes down. Just go across the road and then make that angle down because there's no one else.
You can cut underneath those oil tankers that K7 is at if you're Genji, and you can see that's what they're doing. There is that hill there. The problem is that OPGG can kind of see it, so you're going to have to kind of trade shots with OPGG and pray that you maybe get a knock. If you can get a knock on OPGG, that should buy you enough time to get to where you need to go.
And Genji making a longer rotation, not being seen by the other teams as OPGG. They're actively looking for Genji to maybe get some more kills. They do have the best compound right now in the next circle. Infantry, I think they're trying to decide they want to go into K7. And that will actually leave them open against Genji too, so they might actually go back up against MCG, who's on top.
Yeah, I don't think infantry has any better options than to just try to brute force their way through K7. Just try to outskill them, outclass them, and if any team is capable of doing it, it's them. Genji just making sure that this compound is clear. Better safe than sorry. Makes a lot of sense to do that. Exactly. Now, Summer, this guy is a name that a lot of you are going to recognize if you're a fan of PUBG Esports. From the old VC Gaming team, the shot caller for VC Gaming. Now he is here with MCG in that same role and finding success once again on global stages. 9 trying to bring the hammer down, only gets a little bit of damage, doesn't get the knock, but Puyo, who's going to step up with some help from Savior, and they are going to finish 9 off, so Bullying realizes that this is now a lost cause. But is Genji going to try to third-party this fight?
I think they're coming straight up to K7. They got the compound clear. As long as OPGG doesn't spot Genji out as much, going for the other side, as it is going to be a really hard climb for Genji. Savior here gets the damage up. Yo, that's a third knock on him.
Yeah, PO's going to bleed out very, very fast. There just isn't anybody that can get there fast enough with all of K7 right on top of them. Now, the blue is here, so they can kind of shuffle along.
This is hard.
This is really hard for both teams. Ooh, good grenade from Anonix. Finds a knock. He's going to step up. Bullion coming over the top, trying to steal it. Is it going to be able to do it? It's going to be Zennon who gets him, but Dumbo from afar, and this is the problem for Gen.G. No knocks onto OPGG, therefore OPGG has free reign to shoot at Gen.G. Anonix is going to be finished off by Savior, despite the knock from OPGG. A stolen one. Loki, we've seen it before. This guy, as a sole player for a team, can do some special things.
They both do hear the footsteps of each other. Loki trying to get that kill, gets the headshot. Amazing shot right there. But has to be careful. OPGG does have line of sight on him.
Yeah, OPGG is just so thirsty right now. They can see all of this going on. That grenade is really good. It doesn't get the knock or the finish. So close is Loki. Now he's throwing some stuff over the side. He's only got 2 more smokes to work with. Savior has quite a bit of smokes here available, and that molly. If I'm Savior, I'm trying to get that molly down on top of Loki and then try to smoke my way forward. Zennon is going to be rezzed. It looks like, I don't think OPGG has the lines just right now. See if they move. And Loki's just throwing some stuns up and over. He's going to go for the push. He's going to go for the 2v1. Can he get it done? No, he cannot. Savior holds fast, and Gen.G is down in 6th.
Yeah, Gen.G finishing 6th. I think that's still a really good finish of how chaotic this game has been for them, but K7 still being alive. I think they can push towards the western side, not knowing exactly where MCG is, but still they will have time now. OPGG, they also have to force themselves out into these hills.
All right, it is going to be Machao. He's already got 4 kills in the bag. The Japanese superstar trying to get it done against 2 members of MCG. 2 very, very good players. Machao up and over with that barrel. Just isn't able to control the spray long enough. Going to get some help from Savior from afar, but it isn't going to be good enough. M200 sneaks up and finds the kill.
Wow. This is going to be a hectic fight towards the end. One knock could basically determine who the winner is going to be. Not a single team with a full squad. This is insane. Only left with not too many players now.
How about this? If K7 wins this, G-Clef, think
insane.
about the rotations they had to make to get here. Absolutely crazy game for them. We'll keep our eyes on them for sure. I'm kind of rooting for them just a little bit because of how difficult the early game was for them and how they've been able to weather that storm. Now, they do have the high ground.
And OPGG, how easier of a game it could have been if they didn't lose those members into compound. OPGG, Afaka striking those shots against K7.
He could get the last one, I think. Zennon is at the edge of the smoke.
Oh,
and now
you see him?
Yeah, he's in trouble. Alphaka's going to get it. It is going to be Tanky who steals that kill onto Zennon just in time before Savior died. So it's only going to be 1 point for all the hard work OPGG's been doing. A lot of kills have been stolen.
Yeah, Tank is 1 man, but out of OPGG, they do have 2 men, but Tank is does make those crazy plays. So I'm having high hopes. If he can actually bring it, it will be Tank, and the circle goes towards Tank. Exactly, so M200 will also be looking for the spot. Afaka already in the circle, Dumbo trying to clear out the bottom first, and then moving in towards the western side. Along with Afaka, I think it's the best idea.
Yeah, and I think we got to talk about Tanky for just a second while things are going a little bit quiet until the Phase 9 situation. I don't know. But this guy, one of the top 5 fraggers and damage dealers in the PCL, the superstar for MCG, on his own, 3 kills already. So we're seeing the big fraggers step up for a lot of these teams already. And we'll see if MCG can get it done, or is it going to be OPGG with this 2-on-1-on-1? They're going to come through with that chicken dinner that maybe was a little more difficult than they wanted, but they're not in a terrible position. They are going to have to edge just a little bit forward is Dumbo. He's just outside of the circle, but I think now he's moved up.
Yeah, but Dumbo, Afaka, I think they would be looking towards, just climbing up towards the center directly, as there are some terrains to actually block those angles. Yeah, but Tank goes in for the line of fire right there. Doesn't really know what Afaka is yet.
No, this guy is so good. He knows M200 is back there somewhere. He's been keeping track of that because M200 stepped up and killed Machao earlier. That alerted Tanky to the presence that somebody is behind. He's trying to see if he can finish OPGG off, though. He knows if he can get this twofer, it's a one-on-one. It makes his life much, much easier to try to come through with the win. Now, Afaka on the side watching Tanky. Tanky is pushing down. And no, it's going to be Tanky who's going to outduel Alphaka. Now, can Tanky win this? He is very hurt. M200 launching the Hail Mary. It comes up just short of getting the knock, and the first aid came off just in time for Tanky. Now he's repositioning. He does have a rock.
He does have the rock, and also M200 just throwing everything down. He's getting all the Well, Tank is getting ready. 2 grenades, 4 smokes, 3 mollies, so he's ready to go with the shot, but his armor is pretty low. That might be coming in hot when it's needed.
And he has the bad side of the circle here. He has it right behind him. M200 has everything going for him. Tianba looking to repeat their performance at the Charity Showdown and get their second PCS victory. We'll see if they can do it to start in this game, get a good start going for themselves. We'll find out. Tanky looking pretty far over where from M200 is. He's expecting M200 to move a little bit more to the right, but there's a ridge line here for M200 to work with.
Exactly, M200 knowing that this can be the only rotation now. He can't really go towards the western side, moving up far early before Tanky makes that long rotation happen. This is such a great read coming out from Tianba M200. I think he's about to get that first chicken dinner.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Tanky. He's going to have to land some tough, narrow shots, most likely, unless it just stuns him. M200 might just pop up. Getting a stun over his own, but it's not in time. It's going to be M200 who steps up. It's a win for Tianba. Only 4 kills, but they're psyched anyway. This is their home. One of their homes on Miramar is the Puerto Paraiso region. So taking this win when they're given a circle like that is very important.
Yes, MTG not coming close at the end, but still 5 kills from Tanky. And so this is a huge moment as Tianba, they were not really challenged as much compared to Infantry or the other Chinese teams, but still, due to the rotation and the right decision making, they've been pretty quiet, just snaking through those